I'd say that as DePaul's advising tools and a lot of the information that we give students is online, I've got a dual screen computer, so it's got swivel screens that I can show students. Previously, in a different office, I had a few different types of setups. I had a larger office than I have now. I had a table on rollers that could accommodate up to 4 people. So if you wanted to do some group advising, or if a mother or father accompany their child to the advising appointment, that helps set up a collaborative environment. And in that room too, I also had sort of chairs, enough room to have 2 sets of chairs where you're sort of talking to one another, but not over a desk, so that sort of artifact of authority was taken out of the equation. This office is a little different. The desk stays in place, but previously that's what I did to set up a more inviting and welcoming advising environment.
I try to keep it very comfortable but professional. I think that it's really important that when they come in and visit you, you present yourself in a way that's like, this lady knows what she's talking about. She's got it kind of together. So I try to help make sure that I have information that I know they're going to need, and you know, any of the resources that might be at the ready, I would say.
I try my best to make my office a very warm and inviting environment for all students. I think what else is important is just the visuals as well, and imagery that's presented. So I have a lot of just colorful pictures. I have thank you notes. I have pictures of family, of friends, of the sorority that I advise. I have my degrees posted on the wall. But also when they first come in and are sitting down to meet one-on-one with me, I have some stress relief hand lotion. I have tissues just in case the appointment gets emotional. Sometimes I'll have candy. I usually have a calendar right in front, so if I do need to refer to a certain date, it's readily accessible to me. And I also have pen and paper for them as well, because I think it's important that, you know, in that moment, if we're discussing something that, you know, they'll need to retain, and that they have that quick access to just jot something down really fast. And I also provide notes on there as well that I will give to them. I have plants in my office as well, but I just really strive to have it be very comfortable, a trusting space where students feel at home, and it's just a very, I think, open environment.
Well, I'm in a new office, but there's one piece of furniture there that I can't live without, and that's a big whiteboard on one side of the office where I have diagrammed a lot of the more complicated program requirements in the program that I advise, and it's often just so much easier to point and show than to explain some of this information. That's essential.
I think setting up a good environment for the student is pretty critical to make sure that they're able to disclose whatever it is they're coming to see you for advising. So part of that's going to be actually the physical space of the office. So making sure you have sort of comfortable chairs, you have, you know, a warm environment in terms of like posters or pictures on the wall to make it a little more homey. I have a really large computer monitor too in my office, so if we do need to kind of share a monitor together, we can both see everything very clearly. And also, for me personally, it's nice that I keep my door open at all times, so if for whatever reason something comes up with the student, I can signal to someone outside my office, or I can close the door if I need to. But part of it is also just creating like a nice emotional space for the student too, so that way they feel comfortable and confident with chatting with you about whatever issue they may have. And that could be kind of building some rapport with the student initially, sort of asking them how their day is, getting to know them a little bit better, especially if it's a student that you've never met with before. So creating a good environment is encompassed by not only just the physical space, but also the emotional space that you create for them too.
And I think probably the best thing about the office environment is that I have a lot of little tchotchkes out on the desk. So nervous students have lots of things they can pick up and look at and touch. And my kids' pictures are there, so I'm a real person. And also I always have a bowl of 5-flavor Lifesavers out for them. Well, effective advising is doing the basics. It's making sure they're registered properly, making sure they're on a degree path, making sure they find their major if they're exploratory, that they're working toward their degree, that they're taking all of their requirements, that they're going to graduate on time. I think that's effective advising. I think outstanding might be all of that plus a more personal approach, letting the student know there's a place they can come if they need help, being available, as I've mentioned, being proactive and trying to find the danger before it happens. I think all those extra steps beyond just getting them graduated in 4 years are what turns an effective advisor into an outstanding advisor.
I guess that's tough because, I give out an advising survey to my students, but it's more of a satisfaction survey. Like, was a student happy with the service that they got in their advising appointment today? But I think in terms of effective advising, it's really making sure that the student, ultimate goal is to graduate them. So making sure that they're progressing through their major, they're pursuing graduation in a timely manner. We don't want the Van Wilders out there where students are here for 7 or 8 years. We want to get them moving on to the next step of their life and to transition into the world of work or to graduate school. So I think effective advising is twofold. It's making sure that students are getting good service in the appointment, but also making sure that the student is progressing through the major diligently and successfully.
Effective advising is challenging with civility students to improve upon themselves, to help them develop their identity, their sense of purpose, being very honest as well. I think that I am an honest and open advisor with my students, and I think that in turn helps you to be effective and to just be really forthcoming with, this is what you have to do, and I'll be here to support you, but ultimately it's going to fall on you, and helping empower them to move ahead. I think effectiveness too in terms of ensuring that students are progressing in a timely fashion to earn a 4-year degree as well. Students are, again, not only doing well academically, but holistically, they're really immersed into campus. Effectiveness too, is following up, doing your due diligence as an advisor in terms of keeping yourself apprised of advising trends, assessing best practices, learning from others. I think we need to keep challenging and growing as advisors and really be aware of these new classes of students that are coming into our office every day. And we need to keep that energy and that zest for learning and development.
Yeah, I think going back to one of our earlier questions, I think listening is a huge part of being an understanding advisor. When I first became an advisor, I'd had university jobs, especially at DePaul, for a number of years. The second a student started telling me what issue they were having or the question that they had, I'd stop them midway through their sentence and say, "Oh, you need to talk to so-and-so," or "Oh, we need to swap these classes." And without realizing how off-putting it was, because in my mind I thought I was doing a service. I'd answered your question really quickly. And it actually took a few professional development sessions, talking to other advisors, working with other advisors in more collaborative advising environments to see how well they listened to students and how students responded to that, and how by actually listening, you're letting the student take control of the situation. You're letting the student, the onus is on the student to tell you what they want and to see what they want for themselves, rather than for you just to put out a fire really quickly. And so I think that part of it, listening, letting the student take ownership of his or her education, and understanding what they are really asking for, is key to being an outstanding advisor.